alligator. If you're here to gnaw on information and attack misconceptions, then you've come to the right place. So I'm Allie Marie, and this is My Catholic Perspective. To join the alligators, all you have to do is subscribe and then share the video that compelled you to subscribe to Facebook or Twitter using the hashtag alligators. For this week's Thursday Thoughts, I want to talk about crowdfunding. I personally have a hard time donating to any GoFundMe campaign because I don't know how that person is managing their money. I had donated $20 to one that my friend had going, and then they turned around and spent $75 on a straightener literally later that week. So while I sympathize with somebody who's going through a hard time and needs extra cash, I have a hard time trusting that they are actually budgeting their money properly, since that's something that isn't taught very well, and our whole society is about keeping up with the Joneses. Having aesthetically pleasing things around is something that is just natural to our being, I think. God is all beauty, and He has made beauty. When we look at nature and see all the greens and the flowers and everything that encompasses that, there is goodness within wanting to see beauty. My husband has a hard time asking for money for anything. He wants to be self-sufficient and feel like we've earned everything that we have. I did not grow up in a household where money was an issue, but my parents were also very frugal, so I had 5 shirts that I could wear throughout the week and wasn't in the in crowd in school. I kind of just learned to not care what other people thought about me because I knew who I was and I knew what I could do, and if they didn't know that or didn't see it, then it didn't really matter that much to me. And now I'm on Patreon, which is a whole different story. I had gone through the Dave Ramsey course, Financial Peace University, a few years ago and learned a lot about having an emergency fund and saving up 3 to 6 months worth of expenses, having a budget. And that is something that is really important to my husband, which I appreciate because he helps hold me accountable to how I'm spending my money. With my Patreon account, it's essentially going to be like a nonprofit. Any donations are pulled on the first of the month, and from that, I intend to immediately tithe 10% and save 10% to Alec and my long-term savings account. The remaining 80% is going into its own bank account, where it will be saved and reutilized into things serving the blog. It's going to cover things like the P.O. box that I'm going to need to write letters with the friend gators, any books that I need to purchase for the mama or papa gators that are in the book club, saving up for a new camera, whether that's actually like a Nikon or if it's just a webcam that takes better quality video. If I go the webcam route, I'll likely need to update my laptop as well so that I can do videos and interviews outside of my house. If I travel to go interview someone, say in Detroit or Grand Rapids, it would cover the gas to get there, and ultimately it will end up funding my return back to school to complete my undergraduate degree and then pursue a master's and potentially doctorate in theology and catechetics. This week I've been preoccupied with looking at a bunch of different online colleges because that's the route I would have to take. So I'm looking at places like the Catholic University of America in DC, Aquinas College, St. Joseph University, St. Leo Online, the Augustine Institute has been recommended, and some of those decisions will be influenced by how patrons want me to spend the money. I was just talking to someone today. I've been doing these videos for about 4 years now, and I think through YouTube I've made a grand total of $200. YouTube is not a money-making machine, which is why Alec and I have really decided that I needed to do this Patreon account because it is so important to me that I am doing these videos, but I want them to be quality, both in production and information. But it is important to me that anybody who's considering becoming a patron on my Patreon site knows that your money is not going to be wasted. When Alec and I got married, we set up a joint account, and I never closed my personal account. That is what Patreon is linked up to. So the money will be entirely separate from anything that we would use to buy groceries or gas or Alec's beer or go out to dinner. Most of these colleges colleges that I'm looking at cost $400 per credit hour. So that's anywhere from $2,400 to $3,200 every 8 weeks. So including being able to purchase books and then also having just a little bit to set aside to reinvest into actually video blogging material, my goal on Patreon is right around $1,700 per month in donations. The lowest tier that I have on Patreon is $3 a month. So if 500 people were willing and able to donate $3 per month, that's only $36 a year, which is probably less than what you pay for cable in a single month. I don't want to guilt trip anyone. I just want to put the importance of, if you are unable to do videos, that by supporting me, you are bringing glory to God's kingdom. So if you're willing to sacrifice that cup of coffee once a month to support this ministry, I strongly urge you to head on over to Patreon, take a look at the tiers. Maybe there's a different one that you actually want to be a part of. Or if there's a reward that you think would be really, really cool and you don't see it, please let me know. I'm super open to modifying the rewards. They actually haven't even started yet, just because the first poll is on the 1st of May. So you would still have the opportunity to be included from the very start of every live stream that Alec and I will be doing, or helping choose the parodies for the Musical Monday videos. There's all types of fun that's going to be going on that Patreon site for patrons exclusively. I hope that you will prayerfully consider, and if you are unable to give, perhaps there's someone in your life that you could send this along to and ask if they would be willing to give $3 a month to this ministry. Thank you so much for trusting me. I'm really just trying my best to trust that God is going to open the doors that He wants opened for me. Going back to school would be life-changing for myself and for anybody who would be able to also participate in learning alongside me what I'm learning in school. I hope to see you over on Patreon with any other questions or comments that you may have. But until next time, we'll see you later, alligator.